You also want to measure your results, and here are 3 metrics that are used for people to measure how successful your email program is. You have open rate, which is the number of people that received your email. You know, if you think of your own email, you don't open every email that you get, and so you can measure, you know, okay, this type of subject line got them to open it, this one didn't. You can also have your click rate. So if say you email out your 10 goals from Main Street Springfield this year, how many people that opened it actually clicked on that PDF to download it, and you'll be able to measure that. And you'll also be able to measure your bounce rate, which is the number of email addresses that you have in your list that just didn't get the email. Maybe their box was full, maybe they discontinued that email, maybe they signed up in handwriting and you didn't type up your that email address correctly. And then here are some key strategies. You want to use a real person sender. All the emails that come from our organization come from me personally or one of our promotion committee's members. It really helps establish trust that people are communicating with a real live person. If you think of brands, like even a lot of the cell phone companies are using one spokesperson. You think of Allstate Insurance, you think of that guy that always thinks, you know, you're in good hands. They try to put a person to their brand. And so that's helpful to help build that trust and that familiarity. You really want to focus on having an engaging subject line. Town update number 2 just doesn't cut it. You need to really put the juice in the subject line. And if you think about it, you're trying to get people to open your email just the same way in the old days. If you think of the little boy selling the newspaper on the street corner, he's not saying today's, you know, newspaper edition 45. He's saying, you know, bank robbery. He's saying, you know, big news, you know, Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor. He's yelling out that headline to try to motivate that pedestrian to buy the newspaper. With your engaging subject line or with your subject line, you're trying to engage your reader with that same juice. So put the juice in the subject line. You also want to make your tone conversational. Email when there is news, and you can also insert their contact information and send every email like you're sending it to one person, not like this like stale update to everybody. So that really helps you build trust and build a stronger relationship with your readers. And here's an example of an email I got on Thanksgiving from Barack Obama. I'm sure this email went to a million people, but the tone, you know, these email programs can put your first name in there. It makes it seem like he sent this email just to me, just like if your wife sent you this or your husband sent you this email. So that's the kind of tone you want to take. It's very friendly, like you're just communicating with one person, and the program will send it out to 5,000 people or 10,000 people for you. So that's basically how to run your email program. And we're going to get into Facebook now. And so the way Facebook works is you have this basic profile. This is my profile, and this is why people join the website. If they want to connect with their friends, they want to, you know, show off their biography or what they're involved with. And so this is, if you're on Facebook, this is the first thing you probably ever had was your personal profile. And on it you can, the users use their profile to connect with their friends and also to connect with brands. So if you see, you know, I filled out my profile. I went to Ohio State. Ohio State University is a brand. That's a page. They're having someone trying to market that, but it's part of your identity. One of the neat things about what we do with downtown revitalization is the town you live in, the town you're from, is part of your identity. So it has a similar strong relationship with the viewer. And then you have pages. So you have profiles, which are for people, and like just Joe Smo like me and you. And then you have pages, which are brands. That's Ohio State, that's Coca-Cola, Kenny Chesney, Barack Obama, and that's how you communicate with customers and fans. And then if you've never used Facebook before, this is what your homepage would look like. Friends that you've added, brands that you've become fans of, are all combined into this stream of information on your main page. Kind of think of it like an email inbox, and all of it's combined into like kind of one seamless thing. And so here, this is a sample of what mine looks like one day. It's pictures of my friend's vacation at the bottom. I have one friend saying she's going to Dallas. I have another friend saying it's cold outside. And in between all that, I'm a fan of Skyline Chili, which is a chili brand from Cincinnati. And here they're posting about, you know, a basketball game between Xavier and UC. And so this advertisement for Skyline Chili shows up just like they're my friend. So you're kind of becoming a part of that person's life. You're intermixing with everything else in their life. And most of the interactions with people appear on this main feed portion. You don't go to people's profiles or that sort of thing as often. Most of the time when you hear about what's going on with your wife or your aunt, it shows up on your newsfeed just like the newsfeed. You know, I've never been to Skyline Chili's page since the first time I clicked on it, but they show up in my newsfeed, you know, a couple times a week. You know, key advantages to starting a page. One, it gives you an immediate website presence. The way Facebook works now is you don't even have to be a member to see the content on a page. So if you Googled, you know, downtown Painesville and clicked on our Facebook page, you don't have to log in, you don't have to register. You can see most of our basic information, our phone number, without even signing up. So it kind of functions as a website. So if you're just starting off, it's much easier. And the other benefit of Facebook is its direct instant connection with your fans. So if you think of Barack Obama, to get his message to people in Ohio, you know, he used to have to rely on the Plain Dealer getting the story right, or the Columbus Dispatch getting the story right, or CNN, and they could put their spin on it. They could let the other side have a say. Now he can contact people just directly without the media ever getting in between. And so that's very effective if you think about it. You know, a newspaper has to cover everything that goes on in your town, and they have to sell newspapers. If your only goal is to send out good news about what's happening in town, you could take your content directly to the people. You could take your new downtown streetscape plan directly to the people, and there's not the, you know, newspaper comment of the old grumpy person in town that says, oh, this will never work, downtown's dead. You know, you don't want that interrupting your message, and so this way with Facebook you can get directly to people. And there's also the social engagement aspect of it. And people, you know, you can be able to reach the friends of your fans and really grow through a social way. And we'll really show you how that works a little bit later in the program. And so this is what, if you go to Facebook.com, sorry, I'm coughing. You go to Facebook.com and you create a page. You're going to want to create what's on the right, which is an official page. The community pages are more for like general product, like celery or broccoli. You can become a fan of random things like that, but there's no one that's in charge of that brand, if that makes sense. You want an official page. I recommend creating a nonprofit organization page. This is also where you pick out your name. And you can't change your name, so make sure you choose wisely. And you want to make it simple. You want to tie into your existing brand. And you have to think, with the passive supporter, this is the person from our county, click like. You know, and so don't use complex organization names. I mean, I think, you know, Main Street Springfield is okay. I think downtown Springfield would get more people to click in it because more people are familiar with that. And just like the contrast between downtown St. Louis and the Miami Downtown Development Authority, you know, one makes it seem like if you've ever been to St. Louis, you might want to click like. One makes it seem like you have to be in their inner clique of, you know, authority members to do that. Another mistake people make is a lot of people put like official page, like this is Joe's restaurant downtown, official page. Of course it's the official page. Why wouldn't it be? And just don't put official page in your name. It doesn't come off well. And then so this is what your page will look like before you add anything to it. And most of it's pretty simple. You know, it's steps 1, 2, 3. You want to upload an image, and then right below that question mark, that's where your image will appear. It says edit page, and that's when you can fill out your basic information, what your purpose is, how long you've existed, and all of that. For your image, it's actually very important. I really find a tall, narrow picture that really embodies your town. We use, if you look at the left, we use a picture of the courthouse and a picture of our historic Main Street buildings. Everyone that looked at those in our county would know exactly where that was. St. Louis uses the arch, you know, that's their iconic thing. And downtown Joplin uses this of their probably the tallest building in their town. And one thing that, and that's because the format, the reason you want to use a tall, narrow picture is that's just the way it'll show up on your page. And you can have an image about 200 pixels wide, but up to 600 pixels tall. So just use that space up. And you also want to pay attention to your thumbnail because that's the thumbnail that's going to be showing up on your feed. If you think all of your posts that you make, it's mostly showing up on the news feed. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to that image and what it looks like. And this is why I really recommend having an actual photo of your town as your logo, or this isn't your logo, this is just like an image there. Because if you look at the bottom thumbnails, you know, downtown Muncie has a pretty clever, you know, ad about shop and live downtown, but it's cut off. It just doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make you think those heartfelt feelings for downtown Muncie. Where if it was a picture of the courthouse or, you know, some other historic part of their town, it'd be better. And same thing with Miami. You know, you look at that information, and it's so shrunk down, it's not effective. And if you need to get pictures of your town, you can go to Flickr. It's a lot of amateur photographers upload their stuff. We found great pictures of Painesville on this website. We emailed the user that uploaded the picture and said, hey, can we use your photo to promote our town? We really loved it. We'll give you credit for it. And they within 48 hours, we had like 5 or 6 different people all say that we could use their stuff. And because they're amateur photographers, they're not making their money. They're living off this, so they're very willing to do it for free. And they kind of love the idea that their picture is being used to promote the town. And so this is what your page will look like when it is done. You have your image, and you can see why you want a tall, narrow image because it fits into that slot pretty well. And then your default view is the wall, and that's where when you type an update into Facebook, it's short, maybe a sentence or 2 or 3, and if you post it right where it says write something, and then you hit enter. You could post photos, you could post links, and so here, if you look at ours, we posted one about there's a pizza restaurant in town that got a good review from the paper, so we just posted it on there, and that's your default view, and those posts are then integrated into the into that news feed, so that people can really see. That's where people are interacting, and most of them aren't seeing it right here. And so if you look at it, that's like Skyline Chili. That's how it looks on their page. But when it comes to my page as the user, as the fan, it's integrated. So you can see, and you can also see that their logo, it nicely fits into the icon, but it's important to have an image there for that. And you also have your info tab and your photo tab. These other tabs, ignore them for now. And then a lot of times when you custom build a page, there's some other tabs like discussions and reviews. I would just not have those tabs, but you can do with those what you want. And then some tips for sharing content. You can post much more frequently on Facebook than you can via email because it's passive. It shows up on their page. Generally, you want to be a resource to fans. If you're informative and you send out stuff that some news, people are going to really like that. You send out news. If you send out information that there's a new restaurant in town, or you post the obituary of the person from town who died while in the service, that sort of thing, that is informative. People want to know those things. And we've had a great success posting historic photos of our town. People love it and comment on it and just love the information. One of the advantages of Facebook is your homepage kind of functions like that inbox, but photos are automatically shown in the thumbnail version if you upload a photo. Or like if you send me an email with photos, I'd have to open it. And so I'm not going to see that engaging visual content until I open it and click display images. But with Facebook, if you say you upload a photo album of a new restaurant, those pictures of the new restaurant are showing up on the home page of all of your fans right away, and that visual is much more, is pretty compelling. So be sure to use lots of photos. And you also want to be conversational and talk to your users like a friend. And so we have some examples of posts that we've done. This is a strategy that we've used to market some businesses, is that we'll cluster them together and take a catalog. So we went to, we had 3 different bakeries in town, and we took pictures of their Christmas specials, uploaded them, and 34 people liked it. 11 people commented on it. It got a lot of reaction because you could see this is the product. So you could see that someone, might click like downtown Painesville just for whatever reason. Now they see that we have these bakeries. We're physically showing them that. And that's a way to market your town, is just take pictures of businesses and put them up there. We just did one actually this week that was home and garden businesses. They kind of fit with the theme. All it took was one volunteer to go to these stores, take pictures on the inside, upload them to one album, and post it. And bam, the whole town now could see what are the kind of the sales for that time of year. You could also post here that we posted just a link to a bed and breakfast that's in our town. It's a really easy way to post content. Just put them to a link that's positive. Here we posted snow day. I woke up at 6:45 in the morning, and both local schools didn't have school that day. But one of the things like this, you might think, well, what does this have to do with downtown revitalization? But the way Facebook works is that their algorithm that picks, they have like a top news thing on your feed. So basically the people that you and brands that you interact with the most appear higher in the rankings. And so by having something like this where 20 people clicked like and a bunch of people commented on it, it kind of boosts, this Joe Watson that clicked like or on it, the next time we post something, we're going to be higher on his feed list, more likely to show up towards the top. So kind of showing that news people are posting their memories of town, which is, a snow day is their memory of town, so you're kind of strengthening that brand